Hi, everyone. So this is Dr. Viola Pierce. I am the owner and CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, where our goal is to teach nurses how to build profitable business working from their computers anywhere around the world. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today was how to utilize your Calendly, which is a scheduling app. And so one of the things that when I first went into business, I struggled with being able to, that back and forth with people because our busy, our schedules are sometimes super busy. And so we want to make sure that we schedule time with with this person and with that person that is, that makes sense for both of our schedules. And so I was having such a difficult time trying to do that. And I was like, well, we just need to figure out how to do this a better way. And so my coach at the time, she had a Calendly app, and she was like, well, just schedule a time with me on my Calendly app. And so that's what I do. So at the bottom of my email, you will see my Calendly, and it makes it so much easier just to do that as opposed to trying to figure out which time works best for whatever the person. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to give you just some, a tutorial on Calendly. So first, of course, I logged in. Now I have the paid Calendly, and I'm not sure exactly how much it costs. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to see what Calendly pricing is what I should do. So with Calendly, you have your $8 per month, you have your $12 per month, and you have your $16 per month. Just because I'm really the only one who really uses my Calendly, and so that I use the $8 per month that is billed annually. So whenever it comes out, it's going to be billed annual. And then of course you save 20% on your annual plans. If you're billed annually, it looks like you can toggle it to billed monthly as well. I just get them to take it all out at one time. Or if you have teams who are using your Calendly app, then you can use your $12 or your $16 Calendly. But I just do the $8 one. Now, right here, I have my event types. And so one of my coaches at one point in time, and she kind of still is my coach, is Susie Carter. So I kind of stay in with her. And so I have accountability calls with her. And with those accountability calls with her people that are in her cohort, just to help her out a little bit, because you want to, one of the things that I'm all about is reciprocity, and she has helped me out in times in which I've needed it. And so that's the reason why I'm, an accountability coach for her. But another thing that I do, and you can schedule these meetings according to whatever time period you want. Now, this is for 30 minutes. It's just 30 minutes one-on-one that I have with her people. What I have with my own within VP Nursing Business Academy, I have a 30-minute coaching call as well. So if you come into VP Nursing Business Academy, at this point, it will eventually be a year program, but at this point, it is a 6-month program. And with a 6-month program, you get a one-on-one call every month. So you get 6 extra one-on-one calls with me. And so that's, and it's 30 minutes for those calls for one-on-one. You want to better utilize your time, especially when you're in coaching. You want to make sure that you're doing not just one-on-one calls, but you're doing group coaching calls. That's important because that better utilizes your time, and the group can feed off of each other as well. Now, I do, I have a podcast, it's called Morning Infusion with Dr. V, participant meeting. And so that's for 30 minutes as well. And the reason why I have this is just to get to know you, to, like, if you are a nurse, and I choose nurses who have, they have stories that they have overcome, and we all have stories that we have overcome. So this meeting is just to get to know each other so that we can we can then schedule the actual podcast. This one is to book me to speak. And so I'm an international speaker. And so this right here is just to get to know who you are, so that all of our efforts are aligning with each other, just to make sure that we are. So this is booked me to speak. And then, of course, this is a breakthrough strategy call that I have scheduled for people who are coming in. They're coming in just to get and know, like, and trust me, so that they can understand what I teach. And of course, I teach nurses to coach from their computers anywhere around the world. So if you wanted to do like IV hydration, or you wanted to do something other than other than what I teach, then I would lead you and guide you and, to someone else, but I wouldn't necessarily, we wouldn't go into this breakthrough strategy call. So those are the different calls that I have. And it's important that you have those different calls, so that you can understand whenever people come and they sign up for whatever time, then you're prepared for the call. Now, within the call, you want to make sure that you have certain questions that you want to ask, right? And so like with VP Nursing Business Academy, so there's questions. So when you go into this event, what is this event? It's just, and it tells you exactly what the event is. I put that in. That is something that I scheduled, and I'm going to show you how to schedule a particular event. But also, when people can book the event, they can book it for 30 minutes on a 60 rolling calendar day. And you want to make sure that you don't schedule that too far out, because people forget that they have scheduled a call with you, and your time is important. And so you want to make sure that they understand. Now, the invitee questions. Now, one of the things that I do for sure is I ask what your name is. I ask what your email is. I also ask you to share anything that will help us prepare for our meeting. And then, of course, what is your phone number? And the reason why I do all this is because I want to make sure that I understand, I know your phone number, so that I can call you and remind you of when your call is. Now, I do have workflows that are set up, okay? And these workflows are set up so that you're notified of the workflow prior to. So like 1 hour before, so email the reminder to the invitee 1 hour prior to the event. We have a breakthrough strategy. You receive an email to let you know that we are getting ready to come on. Notifications and cancellations, you give them the ability to notify you. You also give email follow-up, and you would just request a review or prompt your next steps in an automated email. It's all set up for you. You can also have text reminders as well to remind people of when they need to show up. And of course, you have your confirmation page. It lets people know that they have confirmed their appointment. And then if you want to collect payments on this app, I don't collect payments on this app. And so that's not something that, I can really speak to. Now, one of the things that you want to have as well is this shows your availability. So you want to make sure that you align your calendars for your availability. So for example, these 2 days right here. So I was out of town speaking at a conference on the 23rd, and I forget, I had a procedure done on the 15th. And so, I had to come in here and make sure that I was unavailable on those days, just to, so that people won't be scheduling time. And then I have to go in, and then I have to, reschedule the time, because their time is important just as well as your time is important. So whenever you have something that is scheduled, I always think my Calendly events, and I come in here and I change it accordingly. So you want to make sure. So I typically take calls on Wednesday, and I have to go in and change this one right here. But I typically take calls on Wednesday, and I take calls on Saturday. And so because of that, I have it all pre-scheduled out. And you want to make sure that you're having your calendars align with each other, because you want to make sure that they are not overlapping, that you're missing time, that you're missing calls. Your integrations, you want to make sure so you can integrate with a lot of things on this app. You can integrate with your MailChimp, your Zoom. So just like, for example, whenever people schedule calls with me, I've already got my Zoom integrated here so that whenever they schedule the call, then we get on the Zoom. I like to talk as much face to face. You know, we're in this environment where we have to, you know, talk on the computer basically, but I want to, you know, look people in the eye and just kind of get a feel of who they are, and they get a feel of who I am as well. And so I have Zoom integrated in here. I've also got my Gmail workflow in here. And so they receive an email from my Gmail that lets them know whenever their calls are coming through. And there's other ways in which you can integrate, like you can integrate your PayPal if you're using the payment source here, or your Stripe. However you want to do it, you can integrate just about anything. And then of course, Zapier just kind of integrates each particular app to each other. So you want to make sure that you are doing that to ensure that your time is there. So you have your help right here, and it takes you to another space where you can ask, you know, what you need help with, of course. And then you have your account. So I have my accounts, you have your account settings here. So whenever I go into my account settings, so I can put my branding right here, for example. So I have my logo right here, right? So you want to have your logo right here because your branding is your brand. When people show up and whenever they look for you, you want to make sure that they see what your brand is. My profile picture. And this is one thing as it relates to brand as well. When you're looking at your profile picture and you want to make sure that you're showing up as your best self, because, you know, people are 30% more likely to buy whenever you look good. I mean, you know, that's just what that is. And so you have a welcome message, date format, time format, all of that. You want to make sure that you're in your particular time zone. You want to make sure that you're not in another time zone, because they may schedule a call and then your time zones are screwed up, right? And this is my Calendly link. I put my VP nursing here. That lets you know that you're scheduling with VP nursing. And of course, my login information, right? And so you want to make sure that you are doing that. Now, once you get there, now I'm not going to click on this because it has information about the people who have scheduled events with me. But you can look down your scheduled events and you can see those events that are scheduled for you for that particular day. And you can go in and you can change, you can call the people, and under those events, you have all of your information that you need in order to be able to call, in order to be able to talk with whoever you need to talk with. And then of course, here you have your workflows. And this is just a demonstration of your workflow. And you can create a new workflow. You can do whatever you would like as far as workflow is concerned. So if I wanted to create a new workflow, I can email a reminder to the host, which is me. I can email a reminder to me prior to the call. I don't have that because when I go back to the scheduled events, I know exactly when those calls are. So I show up. I know that I'm supposed to be here on Wednesday. I know that I'm supposed to be here on Saturday. And so that's what I do. Now you can email reminder to the invitee. I usually use that. You can send thank you emails. I usually use that as well. If you want to use a workflow where you want to request a follow-up meeting, you can. I don't typically use that. Text message your reminder to the host, or text message a reminder to your invitee. And that's important because what happens is emails open about 50% of the time, whereas text messages instructions are open about 90% of the time. And so text messaging those invitees is super, super important for them to show up. You can also they can text the cancellation notice to the host as well. So you want to make sure that you are utilizing the space as well as you can. Now, whenever you set up, so say for instance, I wanted to set up another workflow, another event type. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do that. So usually my events are one-on-one events. So you can either create a one-on-one event or you could create a group event, all right? And so I'm gonna create a one-on-one event. So whenever I create this event, so I'm gonna put this as mock event type, because we're just using this as a mock event. So the location, so we can either do an in-person meeting, a phone call, a Google Meet, which, you know, I've already have that incorporated from Google, or a Zoom conference. So I typically do Zoom, and my Zoom is already integrated from the integration page here on Calendly. So I'm able to do that. So now description. So the instructions, you want to make sure that you have your instructions. So you want to, I usually say welcome, welcome greatness. Tell me everything that I need to know to best prepare for the meeting. You are telling them you're inviting them to tell you things about themselves so that they know, so that you know exactly who this person is and what they are there for. So this is going to be your event link. It's going to be Calendly.com VP Nursing mock event type, right? And then you can change the colors. If you don't want it to be, you know, purple, you can change it to this color right here, whatever color you want it to be. And so it changes the color up here. And so then you click next. 60 calendar days out is what you can set it for. Duration of 30 minutes. Now, how do you want to offer your availability for this event type? You can use your existing schedule, and that's your existing scheduled hours, or you can set custom hours for this particular event, right? So if you want to schedule it, you know, events for this particular event, then you can do that. What schedule do you want to use? Your working hours. And so this has all of my hours that I am available right here. That's on my availability page. Now, want to add time before and after the event. So some people want to add time before and after the event, especially if it's going to be a short event and you think that you may need more time. You can build in 15 minutes, or you can have times back to back, or after the event, 15 minutes, however you want to do that. I don't usually do that. If you want to, that's fine, but that's just not my practice. I just tell people, look, I have, you know, I have a hard stop at this time, and then that's what time that I stop. Now, invitee questions. You can ask whatever question you want to ask. So, if I want a new question. So, what type of business are you desiring to create? And so I can ask that question, and then they can type in the question, I can apply that, and then they can answer that question as they go down. Now, you also, whenever you do the welcome, you really want them to answer all the questions. And so I usually add in a new line to say, please answer all the questions as you go down. Now, I also ask, of course, it has your email address. What is your phone number? Because I want to make sure that I understand that, you know, just in case they don't show up, I have the ability to either text them, or I have the ability to call them in the case that I need to. And then you want to save and close that. And then you can set up your workflows, right? And so you can add a workflow in, and the workflow can be, you can add in a new workflow, right? Your new workflow can be to send them send a reminder email to the invitee 24 hours before it starts. You can edit this to say 1 hour before it starts, right? Because you want them to know, 1 hour before it starts, send it to them. And then you can select it for, we're on the mock call, the mock event type, right? And so you want to apply that, and then you want to save it. And so that sends an email to the invitee 1 hour prior to. If you want to create another workflow, send a thank you, use this email, and you want to apply it to your mock event type as well. So you want to apply that, save, and again, you have a thank you email to the mock event type as well. So you want to make sure that you're having those workflows, because this creates a space in which you don't have to work in the business of the business. You want to always do that, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the computer can help you work, right? You don't have to always be there. You just have to have the ability to be able to schedule these workflows and do the things that you need to do. Again, if you want to send a text message reminder, so text reminder to invitee. Use this workflow, apply it to the mock event type, and then apply, save, and there you go. You have a text reminder to the invitee, an hour before the event starts. Now, again, here we go. So we come back here. We've got the mock event that's showing right here. The reality is that I don't want that to be something that is shown. So I'm going to go here to this little gear wheel right here, and I'm going to turn that off, because that's not something that I'm going to use. I can do with that gear wheel, I can edit it. I can add an internal note. I can clone it. So if I want to have two events very much like the same event, I can do that. I can save it, or I can completely delete it. And so those are the things that you can do in order to make sure that, the computer is helping you work for yourself. And so, and Calendly has just been one of those things that has been super easy for me. And so it has really, really helped me to really not always work in the business of the business. So this is Dr. Viola Pierce. Again, I am the CEO and the founder of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, where we teach nurses to work from their computers anywhere around the world, building profitable businesses. So if you want to do that, then you can go to my website, which is VP Nursing, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, nursing.com, and schedule a breakthrough strategy session with me. And I will be glad to walk you through everything that you need to do in order to build a profitable business. So it's not just a hobby, that it is a profitable business that you and your family can survive. Anyway, you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.